Alright, hey, what's going on, missioners? Alright, so we're going to talk about why Sagittarius is settled for weak men. That doesn't mean every man that they date is weak, but my Venus is in Pisces. Venus in Pisces, which is co-ruled by Jupiter. So I share similar traits, and being a life path 3 and in the 9th house, which is ruled by Sag. I'm very qualified to talk about this goddamn subject. So a perfect example is Nicki Minaj and this Barbie doll ass nigga. You could obviously see when you look at them, he ain't built for somebody like her. Like, you could tell who runs the relationship. And it sound good, it look good, but she left Meek Mill to be with this bird ass nigga. And that's a common Sagittarius thing when they don't have when they have low confidence, when they have low self-esteem, or their wisdom strictly comes from materialistic things. And that's one of the because the materialism can leave you in fantasy. So, because Meek Mill is a Taurus, and that means he's very solid. He's very solid. He's very concrete. And because he's an actual street nigga, like who been through the muck, he not gonna put up with the fuck shit. Cause one thing I hate about Sagittarius is that they can be up in the fucking air. And in other words, know how to puff smoke up your ass. And because with Tauruses, the thing is their personality is one key word: practical. So practical people don't like impulsive people. Impulsive. The December is closer to Capricorn, and the November is closer to I think Scorpio. So I would say the November Scorpio. The November Sag is more sneaky, is more conniving on the darker side, is more about the occult, is more about magic, is more about sex. The December, like Jay-Z, is about their business. That's why he's a billionaire, because he's about his business. Right? The Capricorn, the December Capricorns are more ready to build than the November Capricorn, the November Sagittarius. November Sagittarius are more about can be more about we. The December Sagittarius can be more about me. Yes, they can build a team, but everything is circulated around me. Because Scorpio is we consciousness. So they can be real conniving and shit depending on how spiritually they're built. But they can be magical as fuck. And finding opportunities and things that November Sag, that a December Sag would be like, nah, fuck out of here, we're not doing that shit. But they always respect each other, because even if the December Sag gets it takes them a long time to get it, because they have double analytics. The analytics of the Capricorn and the analytics of the regular Sagittarius. So it's heightened because they're like, yo, I don't see concrete results. And then the Sagittarius is like, yo, I want to jump and take results, but it's like, I don't know. And they get into this fucking conundrum and shit. The Scorpio, the November Scorpio can just be, depending on how, and this is the key word for November Sag, is depending on how emotionally or energetically developed they are. And they kind of get pushed by that Mars' energy, whether they learn by force or they learn by grace. Anyway, all right. So one reason why Sagittarius women settle is because they forget they're women. And when I say they forget they're women, meaning they act too masculine. They don't know how to shut the fuck up and humble themselves. And when I say humble themselves, meaning like they don't know that being submissive is more powerful at many times than being dominant. Because when you're submissive, you know all the secrets, and that's what a November Sag would know better. They know all the secrets of their men. So instead of trying to dominate him, you know all his secrets. Because you know all his secrets, you can destroy him more than anybody else. You can get him to give you money, give you power, give you wealth, give you sex, give you whatever you want, per se. Because you know his secrets. You know his wisdom. And because you know his wisdom, you can control him. You know the shit that nobody else knows. So, and they want to be, and they have to relax and be feminine. But this is when study comes in. So if you study femininity, and that's the thing, because they can be so arrogant in their knowledge, that where it's like no and then no, you know what I'm saying? They get a lot of no. They're not in the now, so they get a whole lot of no from their partner or resistance, because they think they know it all. So what they realize that they fail and they hurt others in the process, because they're impulsive. And believe me, I know I'm an Aries, so you can jump ship and not consider anybody else, and they call you because they can be brutally ambitious and not consider nobody. Two, not listening to their own wisdom. Wisdom, according to my new mentee, would be like what not to do. So if you don't, we're gonna get later to this, but they've not listened to the patterns of what their partner is doing or not doing, then you be oblivious and acting like that shit don't matter when it does, or not listening to the wisdom of saying like of what not to do by observance, reading, studying, understanding, and you're like acting like the shit don't exist, or waiting, or like I said earlier, like I'm saying later in this thing, that they wait till shit blow up. They sign up for abuse because they have the illusion of control or purpose. One of the things that I tell people all the time about fire signs is if they don't have any purpose, they are slaves to their sexual energy. So what I've experienced personally with Sagittarius, they like to have the illusion of control. And the key word is illusion. It doesn't mean it's real. It just means that they're betting, or they're hoping, they're hoping that life goes a certain way so they can stay in control. But if life flips his head a little bit, then they realize, oh shit, it's not the way I thought it was. Blue, 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 blah, blah, blah. That's correct. When Nicki Minaj said, when Rami Ma said that that Meek Mill knew that Nicki Minaj ass got popped or whatever, like it's because you all know it's fake or whatever. So her ass is like it got popped, or she had to do surgery, some shit like that, and they couldn't have sex for like 3 months or some shit like that. So she was in the illusion, I'm Nicki Minaj, and everybody wants to fuck me, everyone wants to have sex with me, do, and the illusion of control. So because Taurus is a solid sign, or their earth sign, he's not gonna fold, and he's not gonna tell the world like, yo, her ass, da 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 da. But like when you're not in reality, or Capricorn, when you're not in reality, you have this illusion of control, and even worse, this is worse, when the illusion of purpose. Like, you make it seem like y'all going somewhere and y'all have this big mission in life and y'all this, that, and the third, and it's bullshit. Like, y'all not generating no generational wealth. Y'all not doing nothing. Y'all just sitting there acting like y'all had this big life purpose together and y'all won and y'all full of shit. I seen it in the flesh, believe me. Life give, and because they can be very illusionatory because it's ruled by Jupiter, aka Pisces as well. They can lead men with the illusion that they're together or an illusion of commitment. So when you have an illusion of commitment, the problem with that is that life only gives you based on your commitments. Because life only gives you based on your commitments, you'll be like, oh, we're in this relationship commitment, and y'all not really together. Y'all just two people who just like using each other on the low, or y'all, or like for instance, or they only like let's say you're the financially free one. That's you. They only call you when they need you. So you have this illusion that y'all friends and y'all not. This person is really a vampire. Or you're the person with an abundance of wisdom, and they only call you when they need something. It's an illusion of commitment. Believe me, I'm going through that shit right now. Damn it. Impulsive sex slaves, because sex is also an illusion of commitment. So when you're like, because they're impulsive, they just say, oh, I want to have sex right now and I need it. I've had Sag Moon and Sag Sun say I need it, and I'd be like, no, bitch, you need a whole fucking get your life together. You need to do something better with your energy. So it's about having the exchange with no purpose. So in other words, they're not doing sex magic. They're just emptying their can. And the craziest part about what when they don't realize when they do this is they attract these airhead ass dummy ass niggas and dumb ass bitches who just want to be obsessed with them, and they say, yo, my nigga, it's not that deep. I asked you for oh god, I didn't really ask you for all that, you heard? Oh shit, I really asked you for all that shit. Because they're not about the commitment. It was like, alright, my nigga, we was just doing this one night thing, and you all in my boat, my nigga. Like, fuck is you doing? So or like I said, yeah. Anyway, exchange. They're not aligning their morals, principles, missions with their partner. So one of the common things, especially being a life path 3, I have to have somebody with the same morals. Maybe not the same, but at least I can learn from your shit. Similar morals, principles. We definitely have the same principles. I don't have time. We have to have similar principles. I ain't fucking with you. We have to have a similar mission. And even when I speak to people like extreme self-control when it comes to sex, that ain't every Sagittarius. Especially Sagittarius men, forget about it. I've seen Sagittarius women are better at that, yes. But that isn't... I've learned that Sagittarius women they're more indirect with their need. So what that means is they may be better, but they have that one or two or three people or that small circle of men that they have sex with. And it's like a cycle between these people. And they depending on how confident they are. I mean, great trust in self. That's what self-confidence is, great trust in self. It's really a rotate. Like, I've seen Sag women say that have men in rotation. So I it's more, for Sag women, to Sag men, they're more direct. Sag women are more indirect. Well, no, they're more direct with the men that they know. They're more like, yo, well, let me stop lying. They are indirect. They're more direct with the men they know, but they're more indirect with men they don't know. But besides women, when they get older, they're like, "Alright, my nigga, I'm just trying to fuck. What do you want?" I've seen it. It turns me on, but I'm like, "Alright, my nigga, damn, that was fast. You trying to fuck? I mean, alright, I'm cool with that." Um, uh, uh, what else? They don't master themselves. Um, when they're settling, they're not. Shit, they're not. They when they settle because they're not mastering self. Like one of the things I've learned as a life path 3 is they're huge. It's so hard, but I'm sitting sick of this shit. For real, for real. We have to commit to self mastery because like we don't give a fuck about going to school and all this other shit, like doing tradition, especially depending on how like mentally developed you are, and emotionally developed and spiritually developed. Like you about self mastery, you feel me? So you'll fuck around and just read thousands of books and shit instead of going to school and shit. So no, so when they're settling, it's because they don't master self, especially men. They try for it. I ain't gonna hold you. And no integrity. So they're dragged in the mud by their own pain. So they're dragged in the mud by their own pain. So they don't master the lessons. So it's when you have that abusive relationship, instead of learning the lessons and shit and healing and shit, you go into deep like avoidance and acting like the shit didn't fucking happen, and then you just go from abusive relationship to abusive relationship to abusive relationship to abusive relationship to abusive relationship. And if you're not spiritually aware enough, or if you're not um um to be boring, and I did try it, but it wasn't for me either. When you're not, sometimes the Sagittarius, because they're the holders of wisdom, so they don't know when God is sending them a messenger. A messenger. They don't understand when God's sending them, when they're not real with themselves. They're not uh, uh, understand when God is sending them a messenger, a teacher, a student, and a class. So what that means is a messenger just means somebody who just has a thing to say, a thing to give. Well, I hate to use the word with the word, but they don't understand when God is just sending them a message, a way of communication. Um, um, they don't understand when they're supposed to show somebody the way. They don't understand when life is telling them to shut the fuck up and take notes. And this is a give and take relationship. This is not a one-way street. Because when you attract when you attract a teacher, when you're a student, you attract a teacher. When you're a student, when you're a teacher, you attract a student. When you're a student, you attract a teacher. So give and take. Because and the thing is with this, they think that it has to come in a certain package. And it's not that way. It doesn't have to come in a package. It may come so small, because this is where the opposite comes in, Gemini or Mercury, because the package may come so small that you like, oh, it's not what I want it to be, so I'm not fucking with it. Now, in certain regards, I fuck with that, but you may not. It may come in a small seed, where God is telling you, yo, you need to respect that motherfucking shit. And the December Capricorn may be better at that respect, because it's ruled by Capricorn. When I say abuse, I mean anything that violates you. and you don't do shit about it. Now that's not the definition of abuse, but when you know some shit is going down, and you can't, or in my words, you can't sleep at night because that shit is going down, or you don't rest, or your mind is not at peace. Because that shit is going down. That doesn't mean your ego. I mean, like, something deep in your fucking soul. Like, I can't fuck with that shit. Like, for real. When the Sagittarius is not mastering themselves, they're about their ego a lot. About what I have to. And everybody has an ego. Ego is not bad. Ego is your sense of self. But they're very much about what pleasures their ego, not their soul. Let me see. 10. No, get back. They refuse to want to. This is the part about Sagittarius I hate, and I'm learning to overcome this myself. Being a life path 3 and an Aries in the 9th house, they refuse to study. Meaning, if you're gonna be LFEO. They refuse to study. When I say I hate that dumb shit, they refuse to, for me, I've learned in life that if you're gonna be in a fucking relationship for 20 years and you've never, and this is the thing, this is the thing with Sagittarius. Toby Nowinski says, life is a mirror. It gives you what you see. So, affirmation of Sagittarius is I see. It's by Toby Nowinski. Toby Nowigwe, right? He said, in my spare time, I unpack my mind. I'm not going to write it down right now. I see Sag. So he was like, in my spare time, I unpack my mind, turn my wounds to wisdom, and I get on my grind. My flow is for the blind who trying to see. So, I turn my wounds into wisdom. That's what I mean by ignoring your wisdom. I unpack my mind. I unpack my mind, turn my wounds to wisdom, and I get on my grind. My flow is for the blind. So, meaning your lecture, because Sagittarius like to teach, like I'm doing, your lecture is for those who can't see, so your pain was not just for you, right? And you unpack your mind, and it helps you develop your grind, and turn your wounds into wisdom. So, usually with Sagittarius is, what they don't realize, like he said in his song, life, that's deep. The thing is, life is a mirror. It gives you what you see. So, based on your vision, life gives you according to that. So, if you, the thing is, when he said life is a mirror, don't mind my sexy stick, my stick figure, right? You feel me? Life is a mirror, Gemini, your opposite. Life is a mirror. You feel me? So, life is only giving you what you see. So, if you see yourself, because everything is self, right? If you see yourself as not good enough, low confidence, self-doubt, emotional wreck, Emotional wreck. Not disciplined. Oh God, I'm learning this myself. Not disciplined. Not consistent. Not studying. You attract people who do that because life is a mirror. It gives you what you see. So you only see. You saw what it was. And last but not least, when they settle, sometimes it's because they settle for people who remind them of their past. If they don't have the courage to leave their past behind, including the people who were once there and people who associate with that behavior. Like if you are a criminal, they're afraid to leave that shit in the past because you don't operate in that wisdom anymore. Ruled by Sagittarius. You don't operate that way anymore. And because they're not willing to fully operate in the wisdom that is now who they are. Remember, wisdom is what not to do. They settle. And they want to play Captain Saberho. Right? Because you're on a chariot. You're on a horse. So you playing Captain Saberho. Okay? Oh, that's fucked up, right? But it is what it is. I'm gonna get your ass. I'm getting your ass. They escape into their partner. And this is what they escape into their partners not having a polarity, meaning they're negatives. Like, I've learned that because my Venus is in Pisces. They escape into their partner like, oh, he doesn't have any flaws, he's good, and he's all these things, not understanding. And probably the December Sag is better at this, but they escape and say, oh, he's all these things, and he's not, or she's not. They're too big picture in their relationships, not doing their due diligence about their past, their present, and future. So that all goes back to not respecting patterns. Because they're so big picture that they don't want to see the day-to-day shit that fucking matters in their relationship. Till it blows up in their fucking face. And in other words, in the Blackfoot, like somebody just commented, the young lady who was speaking before, she said, I don't see weak in my man. And I said that, believe me, I've been there. That's a whole bunch of bullshit. You may not say your man, you may not have a weak man, but there is weakness in your man. And woman, and everybody, you know what I'm saying? So when you ignore weakness, it's just bullshit. I think that's not reality. Now, of course, see the God in everybody. But don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucked up talking about, I don't see the weak in my man. Bitch. What? Weird. My nigga. That's like a setup for abuse. Been there, done that. Okay? That, you know what that's a setup for? That's a setup for like this. When you don't see the weak in your man, you with a Barbie doll ass nigga. You making loads of money and you left this nigga. You left this nigga to be with this nigga because you don't see no weak in your man. He's flawless, like the Barbie doll Ken. So, that's good. I'm gonna put that on YouTube. That's so good, guys. Yes. But like I said, when you don't see no flaws in your man, he's Ken, Barbie doll ass nigga. I must make that a new phrase. BDN, Barbie doll ass nigga. Make that a meme. I should make a meme out of them. Anyway, Barbie when the Sagittarius chooses a Barbie doll ass nigga. So like I said, but also remember, Taurus is feminine. I mean, the thing is with again, because they're practical. So according to, let's say, Tyler, not to get too deep into this. Not to get too deep. Not to get we don't get too deep. It's not. You have to get in my group for that. You have to get in my group for that. But there's practical, action, social, emotional, according to the psychological personality types that Tyler was described, right? So Taurus is practical. Emotional, social, action. So Sagittarius is action. These people are enemies because Taurus doesn't really like Taurus. Well, my group bit.ly/astrology membership button is $111, and we talk. This is gonna be in the group. This might not. This live is gonna be deleted. It might be my YouTube. It's gonna be on my YouTube, but it can be also in my group. We're gonna talk about a whole bunch of other shit in the next 6 months. I'm gonna be getting so fucking deep in this psychological business, astrology shit. Anyway, talk about that later. But the practical and action are antithesis. They hate each other because practical is down to earth, and action people are get ahead. They're not really on the ground per se. They're runners. So they like to take one step at a time. They like to take 5 steps at a time if they can. They like to take 2, 3, 4 steps. So even though this can create great balance, but if they don't respect each other, they'll always be stepping on each other's toes. Like the Sag, depending on how active they are, they'll get up at 5 a.m. saying, yo, I'm ready to take on the world. I'm about to meditate, boo, 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 boo. And the Taurus like, my nigga, I start at 7 o'clock. I shower. I eat my breakfast, and they go nice and slow. But, and they're more the Sagittarius. The Sagittarius cannot be as even though they're traditional because they're ruled by religion, but they're not traditional in habit like the Taurus is. The Taurus does the same things for years because they're solid. You know what I'm saying? And the Sag, even though they can be really, really, really traditional, but they're mutable. So they go with the flow. So if it's not flowing no more, they not fucking with it. The Taurus is, last time I checked, they're fixed. Last time I checked. So they do the same thing, the same ideals, the same feelings, the same emotions. And they're not about flow. So once they're fixated on something, it's over. That's it. That is done. Finito. There's no if, and, buts, he, she's a motherfucker about it. The mutable sign, they may have I would say it like this, they may have a strong argument, but they're always willing to change. But that's where the Taurus learns from the Sag because it's about wisdom. You feel me? So, because wisdom is what not to do. You feel me? So, what they're willing to change and I've seen this with Sagittarius' sons, if you have enough facts and if you have enough results, they'll actually join your fucking bandwagon if you bout that shit. But Tauruses, they can be so fixed on their shit, they don't give a fuck what you talking about. They said, this is what I'm doing. And that can be a huge negative. But anyway, astrology membership, bit.ly /astrology membership button. You don't get deep. This probably like a 2-3 hour lecture for real. This right here, oh shit, with astrology, oh my god, it's like 2-3 hours of this shit. But I ain't got time for all that right now. So bit.ly /astrology membership button. It's a $101 monthly membership. We talk about everything astrology, reading your chart, how to read your chart, psychology, how to make money online. Because we don't do the broke people around here. Because I do that as well. How to create classes based on your astrology chart. Classes, astrology, relationship issues, and all that other shit. Anyway, bit.ly /astrology membership form in all caps, just written like that. Or go to bit.ly. You want to book your session, book your free session. I think it's free, It's probably not. bit.ly /astrology form. I think no, that's not free. I'm not doing no free shit. That's right. And book your session. I gotta add to that shit. That's right. bit.ly /astrology form. I gotta add to that. But anyway, bit.ly and book your session. Or bit.ly /astrology membership form. But the number one solution to Sag stop settling is wisdom. Believe it or not. And not just learning by fucking trial and error. That's for the birds. You heard? I even got a relationship book. And I plan to get a relationship coach. I plan to get a dating coach. I plan to get all that. I'm not fucking around. I'm not having no accident, especially in relationships. I am not being successful by accident. Fuck all that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not spending my motherfucking years with no motherfucking body, and that shit gonna be on fucking accident. I ain't got time for that. I need this shit to be methodical. I need this shit to be. I'm a Mercury and Taurus, but I need my shit to be methodical as fuck. I need my shit to be structured as fuck. To be like, yo, this is what we gonna do to be successful. This is how we gonna make this shit 30, 40, 50 years. I ain't got time to be like, oh, I'm divorced. I'm married. No, we not doing that. Unless you toxic and force, but you might got fucking time for that. And the niggas not trying to have relationships by accidents and shit. Nah, we not doing that. That's for the birds. Alright. But like I said, bit.ly /astrology membership button. Or click the link in my bio.